You have looked at your own face 10,000 times in mirrors, in photos, in the black glass of your phone the second the screen goes dark. And yet, in your entire life, you have never once actually seen it. Not the way anyone else has. Think about the mirror for a moment. The face looking back at you is reversed. The little things that make you, you. The way one eyebrow sits higher, the slight lean of your smile, all of it is flipped. You have spent years memorizing a version of your face that does not exist to anybody else. Then a friend takes a photo of you and something feels off. That is not vanity. That is a stranger. You are meeting a real orientation of your own face, and your brain quietly recoils. There's a name for why. Psychologists call it the mere exposure effect. We come to prefer whatever we see most often. And what you see most often is the mirror. So the mirror you feels like home. And the photo you feels like an intruder wearing your skin. In one classic study, people were shown both their true photo and their mirror image. They preferred the mirror version of themselves. Their close friends preferred the true photo. Everyone who loves you is walking around with a picture of you in their head that you have never seen. Sit with that. The person your best friend pictures when they think of you is not the person you picture. You are two different faces to the same name. So, if you have never truly seen your own face, how confident should you be about the rest? Because it is not just your face, it is the whole audience you carry around. You walk into a room and you feel it, the spotlight, the certainty that everyone clocked the stain on your shirt, the thing you said wrong, the way you looked when you thought no one was watching. Your heart rate climbs. You replay it that night. You are so sure they saw. They did not. A psychologist named Thomas Gilkovich ran an experiment at Cornell that should be taught to every anxious person alive. He made students walk into a room wearing an embarrassing t-shirt, a big goofy face on the front. Then he asked them to guess how many people noticed. The students were certain. Half the room? Easily. The real number was a fraction of that. Almost nobody looked. Almost nobody remembered. Gilkovich called it the spotlight effect. And here's the quiet devastation of it. The harsh audience you have been performing for your whole life, the crowd judging your every move, is mostly empty. You built a theater in your head and cast strangers as critics who never bought a ticket. Everyone is starring in their own movie. In theirs, you are a background extra. In yours, so are they. And that would almost be freeing, except for the one critic who never leaves, the voice. You know the one. The narrator in your head that never stops. The one that says, you are behind. You are too much. You are not enough. That says it in a tone you would never use on a person you love. That voice feels like you. It feels like the truest, most private part of who you are. It is not. A researcher named Ethan Kross studies what he calls chatter, the inner voice. And one of the strangest things he's found is how to quiet it. When people are drowning in their own head, they talk to themselves using the word I. I am going to fail. I cannot do this. What is wrong with me? But when you switch, when you use your own name instead, something shifts. You would tell yourself by name, you can handle this. You have done hard things before. Kross found that this teeny distance, talking to yourself the way you would talk to a friend, measurably calms the storm, which means the voice is not you, it is a narrator, and a narrator can be corrected. So think about what you actually have. A face you have never truly seen, an audience that is barely watching, a voice that is not even really yours. Almost everything you use to decide whether you are worth loving is unreliable. The evidence has been tampered with, and you have been the one tampering. That is where most people expect the turn. The part where you are told to look in the mirror and repeat, "You are enough," until you believe it. That is not it. You cannot affirm your way out of this because the mirror was never the problem. The problem is you have been waiting to finally see yourself clearly before you allow yourself to be kind, waiting for proof, waiting to earn it. There is a psychologist named Kristin Neff who spent her career on this exact knot, and she found something that undoes it. For decades, people chase self-esteem, the feeling of being good, better than average, special. But self-esteem has a trap. It requires you to keep winning. It needs the photo to be flattering, the room to be impressed, the voice to be approved. The moment you fail, it abandons you. Neff studied something different, self-compassion. Not the belief that you are exceptional, but the simple act of treating yourself like someone you are responsible for. When you fail, you do not need a verdict. You need what you would give a friend who failed, a hand on the shoulder. This is hard. Of course this hurts. You are still worth standing next to. And notice what this quietly solves. You do not need to see your own face clearly to be gentle with it. You do not need the audience to applaud. You do not need the narrator to finally sign off. Self-compassion does not require accurate self-knowledge. That is the whole point. It works on a self you cannot see. Self-love is not the day you finally look in the mirror and understand exactly who is there. That day is not coming. You will never get the clean, objective, unreversed, unnarrated view. Nobody does. Self-love is deciding to be on your own side before the evidence is in. It is befriending a person you will never fully meet. So, here's what changes tomorrow. You will pick up your phone, and the front camera will open by accident. And there you will be, unflattering, unprepared, that flat photo face that never feels right. And the voice will start, and 100 imaginary people will lean in to judge. And you'll remember that face is reversed, and the crowd is empty, and the voice is just the narrator reading the script you are allowed to rewrite. You have looked at your face 10,000 times. Maybe tomorrow, for the first time, instead of grading the person looking back, you will just say, "Hello," and actually meet them.